Hey guys, David Patrick Green, hackhollywood.com, hackbollywood.com. Another amazing video for you guys today about how you can come out of this whole coronavirus situation a phenomenal actor and ready to take full advantage of when things restore themselves to normal, whatever normal that becomes. Because normal is not going to ever be the same. As I mentioned in another video, everything's going to change just a little tiny bit. So before I do that, please like, share, and subscribe, and click notifications. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, put them in the comment section below. So think about it, guys. You're stuck inside, you can't do anything, and you're feeling sorry for yourself, and you're wondering how you're going to pay the rent, and there's a whole bunch of different things going on in your mind. And you have two choices. You can either let this thing bother you, or you can become the super actor, the superhero that you were destined to be. And how do you do that? Well, practice, okay? I don't know if you've noticed any time you've watched maybe a documentary on certain athletes that have become injured, and the ones that are like, hey, nobody's gonna tell me what I can do and what I can't do. And what do? They practice. And you know, whether it's rehabbing an injury, they just focus themselves like mad on the rehab, or becoming better, becoming faster. Whatever their weaknesses were, they're going to address them. Okay, so this is what I suggest that you guys do, is practice. Okay, there is there's no reason why you can't become the phenomenal actor you were born to be right now. And how much practice does that take? As much as you can stomach, because it is really never too much, and it's when you actually think you can't take any more that you have to do a little more. And it doesn't matter if it feels like it's working. It just takes a while for the brain to demonstrate that it's working. Okay, so for instance, when I was starting out, I practiced, well, I got to the point where I was literally memorizing 3 to 4 scenes a day because I forced myself to do it. And that's something you can try, is forcing yourself to do it by making demands on yourself, creating deadlines. Like, tell 10 other actors you want to do a scene with them. Call them all up, pick a time when you're going to have the scene memorized, and test yourself. It's not about being able to do it, it's about pushing your boundaries, because you have no concept how far you can go. And this is really the problem with most people in life, is they don't want to get past the stage of discomfort, and discomfort is an indication you're making changes, okay? Because you're breaking the status quo, you're breaking the norms that you normally allow yourself to feel. And it's only going beyond the norm that you will actually make change, and you can make incredible change. But you have to stop thinking that, this doesn't feel good, so I'm not going to do it. If it doesn't feel good, it means it's making a difference. If there's a little fear involved, that's a great thing, because that's just, you know, your old you telling the new you that you just don't feel that comfortable, and it wants to keep things the same. Okay, there's a natural inclination to want to keep things the same, but if you're not really successful right now, why would you want to keep things the same? Right? You actually need to change them. You can't just change the results. You have to change who you are and what you do. And how do you do that? You have to practice that change, okay? So I recommend calling up a bunch of actors and say, hey, let's do some scenes together. And most of them will probably go, that's a great idea, right? Then all of a sudden, you're running around town, you're memorizing like crazy, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And you know what? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. There's only one way to find out. And the way to find out is to actually just do it. And you'll also find that when you push yourself to a certain limit, that the ability to actually care what the results are will also disappear. You won't have the energy to care about how things turn out because you're too busy doing it. And that is really the best state to be in. If you have enough bandwidth to be scared, to care about how things are going to turn out, like if people are going to like you, if you're going to be good or bad, which is a completely, independent concept. Only you're the only one who thinks something is good or bad, but you have no control over how somebody else feels about something. So once you get yourself to that point where you don't have the energy to care anymore, that's when you can create real change, because you're just focused on doing the thing. And you're not going, oh, I wonder if people will like me. Oh, I wonder if my parents will be proud of me. Oh, I wonder if, whatever. You're like, I don't have time for that. I got to get this done, right? Because you have 3 or 4 scenes to do, and they're all supposed to be memorized. They're all supposed to be off book. So that's what I would do, guys. I'm not going to get into the how to practice. I have lots of videos on that kind of stuff. And if you have any, particular instructions or questions you have, let me know. But get out there, practice your little buns off, and you will find that your capabilities are far greater than you ever dreamt. And you will think to yourself, oh my gosh, I've proven to myself what I can do, and I want more. Because then when you get to that limit, then you'll realize, well, I'm really not at the limit, because I just went from, here to there. And now that I'm there, am I fully tapped out? No. So then you go to the next level and the next level and the next level. And look, some people are born with these gifts, but they have to keep working. They have to keep improving, because there are always people who are better. And so don't ever compare yourself to anyone else and say, oh, well, they're natural, so how could I ever do what they do? Of course you can do it. You just have to actually practice and get better. And you can get within, as far as I'm concerned, I think you can get within the top, few percent in the world in most things, if you decide to work at it. You may never get to the level of the person that's amazingly gifted and amazingly motivated, but you can get pretty darn close, and you can certainly make a living at it. So that's it, guys. Take the time while you have the time to practice your butt off. Don't make excuses, and try to see if you can get yourself to the point where you're too busy and too tired to care about how this will all turn out, because that is where the real change comes, is when you're not even thinking about, oh, I'm not successful. Oh, what am I going to tell my friends or my parents or whomever? That's when you get to the point where real change is taking place. All you're doing is improving and improving. And there's also another thing you need to keep in mind. There's going to be a delay. There is, it's called the elasticity, brain elasticity. So there's a delay in practicing something before the synapses in your brain actually form the pathways to make it work really well. So you will feel some, you will have a certain lack of results as a result of all of this work, and you'll think that it's not working. But what you have to understand is there will be a delay between the practice and the final ability to do. And I've proven this to myself 100 times over, just practicing a sport and not getting it, and then whatever, leaving it alone or for a while for whatever reason, and then coming back to it and being so much better at that sport than I ever was. And I'm like, how is this possible? And it's like, because all that practice formed pathways, neural pathways in your brain, and connecting your brain to all these movements. And that's the exact same thing that happens in practicing acting, is eventually the stuff sticks. Okay, well, that's it for now, guys. Hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please let me know. Otherwise, I will talk to you soon.